Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So, good evening here in Ghana to everyone who is joining us on this live stream. This is I'll call it the like a teaser to the Church Media Summit that is going to happen in August 2024. And we've been talking about this, and we are getting closer. And it's great to have John Ondo with us. He's going to be one of our facilitators for the team coming from the US here in Ghana. And it's just a great blessing to have John with us. Today, we are just going to have a chit chat with John and find out how he's doing. Who is John? What does he do? And he will just let us know what to expect at the Church Media Summit. So if you're joining us on Facebook, if you have any questions, you can just put it in the chat box. We'll try and see if we can answer any questions that you have. But hey, John, good to see you. It's evening here. What is the time where you are?
It's only 2:30 in the afternoon here, so you got me right in the middle of the day, Philip. But it's really good to talk to you, and very excited to be joining everybody in Ghana in just a few months. It will be here before we know it.
Yes, yes, John. Okay, so John, just tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is John? Is John? Yeah. So maybe
Oh,
just tell us a little bit
what?
about yourself.
Well, I appreciate it, Philip. Basically, I've loved television and radio since I was a kid. I grew up in a smaller town here in the United States in what's called Lima, Ohio. And I just always loved radio and TV. And when I was 15 years old, a group of Christians were building a Christian television station, very uncommon for a small town like that. And they were a different group of professionals. They were all broadcasters who had come over from secular television to work in Christian television. And so they got an old airport hangar and built a TV studio. And I went down, and I didn't even really know who Jesus was at that point, and began volunteering. And I kind of, as I tell people, I learned about Jesus and I learned about television at the same time. And from there, at the age of 15 on, I never looked back. I worked there for almost 20 years. The station won many awards. We did documentaries, we did sports, we did news, a lot of groundbreaking programs that we were always looking for ways to do relatable stories for the audience. In 19, or actually in the year 2000, I moved here to Columbus, Ohio. Worked with a couple different ministries over the years, but eventually started Ondo Media, which our primary purpose is we tell stories is the easiest way to tell it. We do documentaries, we do fundraising videos, testimonial videos. We consult churches. We have a couple of churches that we consult and train their directors and train their media teams. I just believe stories are what Jesus told. He was always telling parables. He was always telling stories. I really believe if he was, well, he is here, but if he was physically here, he would be producing television shows, I think. He would be telling these stories to people in ways. And so I just love doing this. It's my passion. And I've always actually wanted to teach. I've been to Africa a couple times, but it's been back in the 90s. So this will be my first return in many years. So I'm excited. I've never been to Ghana, so I'm excited to see all my friends there.
Great, great. What African country did you come to when you first came to Africa?
I came to Zambia in, I want to say it was 1994. I worked with a medical mission team, and so we were in Zambia there, and for about a week we interviewed the president and did some testimonials there, and that was my one and only time in Africa.
Great, great. Okay, John, I know because I know you a little bit about you. I know you've won so many awards. Winning 10 Tellys and 4 Emmy Awards is not a small feat. So, what would you say has been the secret sauce behind your success in creating award-winning content?
Well, you just kind of said it there. It's the content. It is all about the story. If you want to really annoy Phil Cook when he comes, he says he's getting tired of hearing people talk about content is king, because what does that really mean?
Yeah.
And I kind of agree with him on that. But the story is critical. So, and a lot of times I've seen amazing documentaries, but they weren't that compelling because the story wasn't told right in the editing, or maybe in the shooting, or they missed part of it. And so there's a real, I think, key visually and audio, how you build all that is just real important. And here's the thing, I've been doing this for over 40 years. I learn something new every day. The industry is changing so much, storytelling, whereas our cultures would have been completely uncommon a few years ago. Now, folks in Ghana can see media we're producing in the churches in the United States. We can see what you're producing, and it's completely different than 20 years ago when it was completely a isolated world. We could now we can kind of imitate, and there's a culture that you kind of expect this level of production now, and with the storytelling. So that's my secret sauce that I'm constantly tweaking, is what can we do to tell the story better.
Okay. Thank you, John. So you've been talking a lot about storytelling. What is storytelling, and how do you tell stories if you're supposed to
Well,
explain it to?
absolutely. It's a great question, because I think the thing we look at is we look at storytelling as being a script. And it is so much more than that. Storytelling is telling a story with your camera. I typically teach some of my classes where I'll show this demo video that Nikon shot with one of their cameras. There's absolutely no narration to it. It's just all picture stories. And then, like you, I've also had a little bit of a radio background. And as we always talk about radio and the theater of the mind, telling a story not just by saying words, but adding sound effects. And it's a dark, stormy night, and you hear the clap of thunder or some rain falling, and the sound effects. It builds that theater of the mind. So, that's what's so great about television, and specifically internet media, is that we can have these visual stories with the pictures. We can tell the story, embellish it further with the audio, graphics, depending on what's going on, animation. So it really I don't want to undermine writing. Writing's critical, but you can do so much with television to tell that story, and to really grasp all these skills to understand cinematography, good photography, good lighting, good sound effects, good editing, but ultimately putting that story in the correct order is so important. That's the reason why some movies are horrible. All the trailers for the movies are great, but some movies are horrible, and you go, what was that about? And it's because they got the story wrong somewhere.
Mm, mm. Wow, that's amazing, John. Another question I have is, you've seen a lot of changes in the Christian broadcasting over the years, a lot of changes. What are some of the biggest shifts you've observed, and how have
Well,
they impacted your work?
obviously the internet has changed the whole game. But the thing that I know Phil and Dan and Laura and everybody else is coming with us, Kathleen, we're talking about this thing, the iPhone, and if you're an Android person, I'm sorry, but yes, you have a phone as well. But this iPhone, there's no reason. We talk to a lot of churches here in the United States, churches that got decent amount of money, and I'll say, where's your gear? And they're like, well, we're waiting. We want to buy a $40,000 camera or these kind of lenses. I'm like, you don't have to. You can shoot a cinema quality documentaries. I do a lot of testimonials with a cell phone. Lighting is important, sound is important, but the phones are ridiculously good. So if you've got an iPhone, you're ready to go. You could start shooting today. And so we're going to talk about that in these sessions, about you could shoot with an iPhone. I'll bring a DSLR. We'll show you some basics on lenses and lighting. But we've got to get these stories recorded. We've got to get these testimonies of God changing people's lives, because people are on YouTube all the time looking for things, and we should own it as the church. We should have just testimony after testimony of God changing lives. But so many times I'll talk to churches, I'm like, oh, that was a great story. Is it on YouTube? Oh, no, we just show it in the service to 200 people and it's gone. This needs to be on YouTube. We have an amazing, after we're all gone in the rapture, these YouTube videos will still be there. And I think it would be great to have that. So we're going to talk about how you can shoot with a small budget. again, craft a story, then go into editing. And we'll get into all of that with the sessions that I'll be teaching on, I think it's Friday and Saturday, right?
Yes, Friday and Saturday. Yes, yes. You just hit the nail on the head. You spoke about, some people will be wondering, I don't have the gear, I just have a phone. And how do I go around telling stories? So you just hit it right on the head, and people would know what to expect when they come for the church media summit. You're already into it, what people should expect. Can you talk a little more about what people will expect, should expect in your session at the Church Media Summit?
You'll expect me talking really, really fast because I get real energetic. Um, and it's really important that if you come to the session to me to see what I'm teaching, that you get questions answered. So I will try to give ample time for questions, but we will set up, I will primarily focus on kind of documentaries because even short testimonies, 2 to 3 minutes, should be done similarly. So I'll basic lighting, how to use without lighting, how to light with just natural light, how to put microphones in the proper place so you get good quality audio, and then editing will be a big thing we'll talk about. That's the one thing I edit with Adobe Premiere. It does translate across DaVinci and the other different formats, but a lot of people use Adobe. But I really would I hope you leave these sessions going, I can't wait to get back to my church and get these stories on tape, or well, whatever we call it now, get them on my recorder. I'm old, so I still say tape. But yeah, this is where I want to get. So if you're a pastor and you're like, I would like to get stories, send your media team. Don't. It's fine for pastors to come, but send the people who are going to be in the field, hands on with this, and I'll show them how it works, and hopefully they'll leave energized and they can find out more information. But don't let the technology, I'll show you all kinds of shortcuts and hacks too on how to do some amazing stories with even just a cell phone.
Wow. So everyone, yeah, we are here live with John Ondo. He is going to be one of our facilitators at the Church Media Summit that is happening from the 15th to the 17th of August 2024. 15th to the 17th of August 2024. And we are chit-chatting with John, an experience. He has so much knowledge to share at the Church Media Summit. So you can't miss this. You can't miss this. You can't miss this. So John, any final words, anything to share with anyone listening to us who is not sure, people who are doubting, people are like, should I come for this? What is this all about? Why should people come for the Church Media Summit?
I'll just tell you my own story since we're talking about storytelling. I know it was a gentleman. I was interested in television, but it was a pastor who was doing a live interview in that local television station I was at, and we were in a commercial break. He wasn't paying attention to the other stuff going on. He turned to another young person and myself and said, "Why are you guys here?" And I said, "Oh, I would like to learn more about television so I could go out and work in Hollywood." And that's what I wanted to just do, TV stuff in NBC and all the big networks here. But I didn't say that. He just turned to me and said, "I'm so glad you want to be a part of Christian TV. We have to take back the arts. We need to tell these stories." And I'm so passionate. I'm so excited. You want to use your passion to tell these stories and to take back the arts. So my challenge to anybody watching this, Phil Cook is one of the best in the industry. Dan Otham is amazing. He's going to be teaching about the live directing part of that. Laura is an accomplished writer. She's going to really break into that. Kathleen can talk about on camera and auditions and so forth for the acting. Imagine if this group of people that will be meeting in August can then launch into the filmmaking areas in Ghana, filmmakers, cinematographers, all that. We as Christians can't influence our culture and take back the arts. So I always challenge you, it's like you can sit back and complain about the world and all the things that are going wrong with the world, just like here in the States. I'm sure you got things in Ghana that you're like, oh, there's nothing we can do about it. Yes, there is. Come to this media summit, get the tools from all of us, be blessed, and let me meet you. Let me share with you how we can make media better. in your church, and we can tell these amazing stories. So I would love to see you. You can get on the website right now and register. If you're a pastor, send your media team. It would just be important. You can send them there. They're gonna gel. They're gonna have some fun, and we will make it an amazing time.
Wow. Great, 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 John. So you just heard John. If you're a pastor, or maybe you're not really in your media team, but you can share with your media team that, hey, this is happening on the 15th to the 17th of August 2024, the Church Media Summit. You can't miss this. The registration link is in the Facebook chat. So if you're listening to us and you're still not sure, it's in the Facebook comment. So you can just, click on it and register now. Don't delay. There's an early bird registration. So you have to register now, because after the 15th of June, the early bird will be done. Okay, so if you're listening to us, yeah, the early bird registration is ongoing. So if you want to register, please don't wait. Register now so that you can take advantage of the discount for the Church Media Summit 2024. John, thank you so much for your time. It's an honor to have you on this Facebook Live, and we can't wait to see you, and we can't wait to learn a lot from you at the Church Media Summit 2024. God richly bless you, John.
Thank you so much. God bless you, Phil. Thank you so much for having us. And I really, to all of you watching out there, if you've been thought, maybe I'm just a little bit interested in media, come to the summit. And I'd love to talk with you and share with you what I know, so we can glorify the kingdom of God.
Great. So come meet John Ondo at the Church Media Summit from the 15th of August to the 17th of August 2024. Don't miss this. Register now. God bless you.